Here are 3 different styles of garden that you might want to put into your survival world. I'm going to give you a world download so you can come and explore them in both Bedrock and Java. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, in my Build Ideas series. In this series I do a number of different versions of the same thing just to give you some inspiration and some ideas for your own building style. Previously we have done mine entrances, we've done pathways, and this time we're going to have a pop at gardens. I've got 3 different garden styles that you might like to put around your house. To keep it consistent, we're going to use the exact same house to stick the garden onto. That way you can get an idea of just what a difference the garden design makes to the entire build, and it's nothing to do with the house itself. I've taken this house from my Avomance solo survival world that I'm building a custom town in. I made the schematic, so I'm just going to drop it into all 3 garden areas so as it is exactly the same in every single one. This world is going to be available to both Bedrock and Java users for download, completely free to anybody. All you need to do is go to my Discord, link is in the description below, and there is a channel there that has got a link to a free download section. What will also be in there is the house schematic that I'm using in the world as well, so you can come have a look around the world, get some inspiration, and also suck out that house schematic. Maybe you want to use it in your own world. That's obviously only Java. No clue how to do Bedrock schematics, or even if that's possible. If it's not Mojang, maybe make that possible. That would be really useful for Bedrock players. But whether you're Bedrock or Java, the world is available. As with my previous episodes, there is a little teleportation portal room for each of the 3 destinations. And at the destination, there is another teleportal room that will take you back here, so you can go backwards and forwards between each one as you wish. We are going to be doing rustic, modern, and Japanese style gardens today, so let's get on with the first one, and that's rustic. Let's go see what kind of palette we've got. And when you come through the first portal, this is where you are going to come out. We've got a little bit of terraforming to do before we can build anything and plonk that house in, but I think this is quite a nice, relatively flat area for us to do a decent rustic garden. Let's crack on. Palette for this, I think, is going to look something like this. Now we're going to freestyle it like we always do in these builds, but I think we're probably going to be using all of these blocks plus a few more. Take a screenshot if you're interested, but let's crack on. Very minimal terraforming, and we've got a decent platform upon which to do this garden. It's going to have a number of different layers. The house is ready, and I think it's time to crack on with it. Let's build ourselves a really nice looking, decent sized rustic garden. Let's go. Cue the music. The rustic garden is finished, surrounded by that craggy stone wall in an irregular shape, the pond streaming down on a double level. We've got some crops in there, we've got a bee area, we've got a gazebo, somewhere to sit. It looks overgrown, but actually it is just controlled ever so slightly against the forces of nature. We've got wildflowers around the front and running around the outside. We've got a custom tree towards the back, and that house sits beautifully right in the middle of it. One garden down, time to go back to base and start the second one. And the second garden is going to have a more modern feel. This is the site for the next garden, and this brings with it another challenge because this garden is going to be a modern style. Like before, we're going to do this freestyle, but I think the palette is going to look something like this. We've got some greys in there with some smooth stone and stone, a little bit of oak wood in different colours, some different greens, lots of white, and some other interesting blocks that I might throw in there. Not entirely sure how it's going to go yet, but let's have a go. Now this site is very different to the last one. It is far more undulating with more hills, not so much flat area, and I don't want to lose all of that, but we do need to perhaps do some landscaping and a little bit of terraforming to make it workable and to fit in that house. So I guess what we're going to need to do is start doing that and then build ourselves a modern garden. Let's get cracking. Cue the music. Modern garden is actually really quite simple, even though it looks fairly complicated. Lots of straight lines, white, grey, blue, with poplar trees coming out at the corners just to give it a little bit of height. The house itself looks quite out of place in this garden, but that's okay because we're only comparing the gardens. I've used a combination of concrete powder and block concrete to create the stripes of a well-groomed lawn. We've not put anything else on that lawn because I don't think the owners of this garden would want to sit in it. They just want to look at it. That leaves us with just one more garden to create. We need to go back to the centre to get over there and see what we've got facing us. And what we've got facing us is a Japanese garden. We are back to a very open plains area for the Japanese garden, and that's good because I want it pretty flat. Very little terraforming needs to be done here before we can actually get on with the build itself. Japanese can sometimes be a really tricky style to build with, so we're going to be winging it with this sort of block palette that we've got here. A little bit woody, a little bit stony, some prismarine and some interesting colours as well. Not quite sure how it's going to work out, but let's give it a go. It's time to get building Japanese style. Cue that music. The Japanese garden looks incredibly detailed, but in reality we're just using straight lines and swirls to give it a bit more of a mystical eastern feel. That pagoda in the middle, made up of nothing more than trapdoors with a bit of a roof on, using a little bit of prismarine just to change up the colour. Cherry blossom trees, poplar trees, and bamboo and sugarcane finish off the planting structure of this garden. I think it came out really well. So there you have 3 very different garden styles that I hope you can take some inspiration from for your own survival worlds. I'm going to put links down below to the Discord where you can get free downloads in both Bedrock and Java for this world. You should appear here and teleport to all 3 of the gardens so you can have a bit of explore around and do what you want with them. And if you want, I'd love to see some pictures posted in the Discord of what you make of these 3 different gardens. That would be awesome. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them, and I will keep on making. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.